real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence.
This is Napheesa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. She directly called out WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and the powers that be running the league.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them.
Many are applauding her words and bravery for shining a light on the issues plaguing the W.
I think it actually makes it more impactful that she is not someone that we hear fly off the handle when it comes to what's happening in the league. But listen, when I think of Nneka Ogwumike and Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart and the women that are at the forefront of leading the PA, they are not only so well-spoken, articulate, but they are some of the greatest that our game has to offer. And so when they speak, they fully understand the magnitude of the time that we're in. This is not even just about now. This is about the future moving forward. And I think, to me, an organization as respected as the Minnesota Lynx, players as respected as Napheesa Collier, have to be willing to get uncomfortable. If we go back to sport, which this is all about, some of the most intense locker rooms that I was in, Malika, were also those that were able to go on to be the most effective. Because if you don't address it head on, it doesn't get addressed.
ESPN's Monica McNutt provided clarity and backed what Collier was stating. There was more from Collier.
This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results in this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2, telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power.
Via the Post, there has been a contentious atmosphere between players and the league all season as the sides negotiate a new CBA, or collective bargaining agreement. On the court, frustration among players and coaches over officiating and physical play has reached a boiling point, with Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve getting fined and suspended after calling the situation dangerous during Minnesota's semifinal series against the Phoenix Mercury. Collier serves as VP to the Players Union Executive Committee. She would suffer an injury after Alyssa Thomas attempted a steal. They went knee to knee. Her ankle rolled in what really looked like a very uncomfortable position, and it was a very controversial no call. There have been many creators and uploaders and many even in the media who have talked about this. She would be seen in a walking boot. Now, Engelbert responded in a statement which read as follows: I have the utmost respect for Napheesa Collier and for all the players in the W. Together, we have all worked tirelessly to transform this league. My focus remains on ensuring a bright future for the players and the league, including collaborating on how we continue to elevate the game. I am disheartened by how Napheesa characterized our conversations and league leadership, but even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to the players and to this work will not waver.
I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine, it's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level.
After this press conference, Chicago Sky star Angel Reese would tweet 10 out of 10 no notes. After all this broke, though, another important story would surface. Tom Friend of the Sports Business Journal printed that Engelbert may be out as commish of the league. This came prior to Collier's presser, by the way. She hasn't connected. She's not a relationship builder, which you have to be in that job with the teams, with the players, a source familiar with league office dynamics said last month to SBJ. I think she's a wicked smart business person, and the success she gets a lot of credit for, but a commissioner has to have a personality element that can touch every constituent that they have. I think she's just lacking in it. You're where you are now. You have got to get through this labor negotiation. After that, it wouldn't surprise me if she did a victory lap and rode off back into the corporate world somewhere.
But I do think for the future, in order for the WNBA to be a super successful league, they do need new leadership. And I would go as far as to say it's not just Cathy who needs to go. You need to do an overhaul of what a lot of people would call the old WNBA. And you see that in the leadership, you see that in the media, you see that with how some of the players, how some of the owners act. And you probably need a clean sweep. The players, the younger players that are coming in now, Caitlin Clark coming in, obviously bringing in millions and millions and millions of people to this league. All of these millions of sports fans are coming in and they're expecting a great product. And unfortunately, that's not what we've gotten. And we haven't gotten a great product. A lot of the times it's because of the things around the game, because of the officiating not being consistent enough, because of the injuries that are happening every single night, because of how the media is portraying certain fan bases or certain players, or the list goes on and on. All of those things add up to not being a great product on the court. And in order for the WNBA to ever be successful, it has to be a good product. The fans that are going to stick around are there for the basketball first. They're not there for a player's social media.
A bit of the backstory on Collier. That fee and the lengths were the player and the organization to fire direct shots at the league establishment shouldn't come as a surprise. Collier's grandfather, Gershon, was a UN diplomat and ambassador who helped negotiate Sierra Leone's independence in 1961 after more than 150 years under British rule. And she, Fee, has always felt a responsibility to uphold the standard for activism that he set for the family. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.